Hello, 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 everybody. Happy Friday. Stephen Mead here with Domicile Real Estate, where we are on a mission to help California's renters become homeowners. My name is Stephen Mead, and I am the founder at Domicile Real Estate. This is our Southern California first-time buyer market update, where we go over market stats in Los Angeles and Orange counties just for entry-level home buyers like you. And what a week it is. The title is not clickbait. There is a perfectly good reason why I have an oven mitt with me today. And the reason why is because this market is too hot to handle. I know, terrible. Anyway, let's jump into the stats because I think there's some important lessons here with some of the data that's showing this week. So let me pull those up for you and we will get right on into it. So let's see here. That's funny, not seeing her up there. Sorry about that. Okay, first off, our closed prices, just as always, a reminder, these are delayed by 4 to 6 weeks. What you see is a little bit of an evening out of prices. Don't be fooled. Prices are not evening out. We're going through another period where I think I talked to you. There are a couple things that drive prices upward, drive demand upward. One of those is dropping interest rates. And that's actually what we've seen. So if we go to our next slide here and we look at our total monthly payment, this is really what's telling you reasons why we're seeing our market kind of go through another little bit of a crazy jump. And so if you look here in our entry-level single-family home category, week to week, we had a near $200 drop. This is with flat prices, right? And we also saw a very similar result in our condo. In fact, if you look here for our condo numbers, this is really great news if you're a condo buyer. This is pricing that actually goes back more to the end of January. And the reason why we're seeing these prices drop, or the reason why we're seeing these monthly payments drop is because we are seeing interest rates really pull back a little bit. They jumped up a little bit over the last month or two, and then they pulled back a little bit the last few weeks. And that is just driving people into the market, especially entry-level home buyers who are particularly sensitive to those interest rates. So if we look here and we take a look at our minimum household income required, right, in order to sort of meet these median prices, we've got 93,000, a pretty healthy drop. And then we also have 67,000, again, a very healthy drop. That is kind of what's going on in affordability and the reason why we're seeing what we're going to see on the availability and the demand side of things. I also have some bonus content at the end of this. I don't want to spoil it, but it comes from a friend of mine from high school who I will totally embarrass him if he's watching this, who is a first-time home buyer in the Bay Area, which is kind of like our Southern California market, but imagine everything just sort of amplified to the nth degree. So I'm going to jump back in and talk about our availability and demand of housing charts, because I think that's really where kind of the other half of this story is this week. So if we look at our absorption rate, right, like this is our quick and dirty, how active and how hot is our market calculation. And, I have frequently talked about that 80% is sort of a line for a very strong seller's market, and anything above 90% is a circus. And look what happened week over week with both of our numbers. They rose up rather sharply. And again, this is a direct response to dropping interest rates. I think for some of those buyers who felt like they had missed their chance, they are not going to wait for those rates to go up. They are going to write big offers. And that's the reason why I think about a month from now, right, 4 to 6 weeks from now, that is where these price increases that are present in the market today are going to show up as closed sales. But let's talk about this for a second. We're at 95% for our entry-level single-family home in terms of our absorption. That means the market is just gobbling up things as they come onto the market. And to see our condos, to see those go to 89% as well, I mean, a very, very, very tight market. If it feels like things took a little bit of a jump this week, they did. Now, moving on to our inventory, as you might expect, if things are going crazy, what is happening to inventory? It's going down. And that is exactly what we see here. A trend that started a week ago has continued. When you look at this entry level condo inventory, I mean, it just, this level of inventory is just not something we've ever seen. Typically, there's there's at least some gap in inventory between our condo and our entry level single family home, and we've seen these narrow together. But look, even looking at our entry level single family home, those numbers are not great. Still better than we were, a couple months ago. But really, to be heading into spring like this, to have these inventory numbers is just sort of an otherworldly phenomena. Now, if we're looking at our 14-day still active percentage, this is kind of our a little bit more advanced version of measuring immediate. Is the market getting easier or is it getting harder? And again, we've seen both of these the last 2 weeks drop. And to us, that means our market is getting more competitive. It means fewer and fewer of the homes are still available in the market. And the reality is, I mean, look at where we are in our entry level single family homes. We are near hitting some new lows. I think this might be the third or fourth lowest point that we have seen since the beginning of the year. And if you look here for our condos, it's actually a similar story. Things got a little bit better and then it just deteriorated. So, just a summary here, what we are seeing is very fewer and fewer of these listings are staying on the market. Buyers are being less picky and they are snapping things up, especially if they are priced right. And finally, we have our weak supply of homes, right? This kind of just ties it all together in a big bow for you. Look at what has happened to our inventory on condos. It's taken another dive. I think we are at our third lowest point that we've recorded. Our third lowest point. If we look here for our entry level single family homes, it is actually the same. We are running on only 2.5 weeks supply of homes. That means if supply dried up, we would be out of everything. There would be inventory of 0 in 2.5 weeks at our current run rate. I mean, this is just really nuts, right? So now I'm going to take a moment and give you guys a little bit of bonus content. It's a Friday. And, sometimes I see stories on Facebook and it kind of, relates something to me as an agent. So I have a friend from high school who is looking to buy his family's first home in the Bay Area. The Bay Area market, as I said, is like our market amped times 10. Well, maybe not times 10, but at least times 3 or 4. And, he's having a lot of hesitation on buying a house. I mean, these prices, he's looking at property taxes that are almost as much as his current rent. So, has a new baby, needs a lot more space. You can see how that might work out. Where I think we want to talk is he posted something today. There's a home he was considering and he ultimately decided not to place an offer on that home. And he called his agent, his realtor, and said, we've decided against putting in an offer. And he said the disappointment in his agent's voice was almost palpable. And I want to talk about something for a second. I don't know this agent, so I can't speak for this agent in particular, but I can tell you something. When a client calls us and calls me and says, we've decided not to place an offer on my home, I'm not disappointed because I'm not going to earn a commission on that sale or because I feel like the client is wasting my time. That is not it at all. I'm disappointed because I feel like we're not at a point where the client feels comfortable. There is something missing in this. I am not doing part of my job well enough. I'm not looking for those reasons. Are we even looking at the right houses? If we're finding houses that are pretty good and the clients aren't wanting to place offers, maybe we're not looking at the right houses. Maybe my assumptions are not there. There's a miscommunication, there's something. And so one piece of advice I want to throw out there for you is if you're working with an agent, a good agent, and if you're a first-time home buyer, this is a journey. what you want in a home will very likely change over the course of that journey. Meaning, you might start off saying, I'm looking for a 3 bedroom, 2 bath in area A, and I would like it to be built after the year 2000. And by the end of your search, you might be looking at ranch homes built in the 50s with larger yards and less remodeled in city B, right? And that's a very natural process. And understand, don't be afraid to lean into that. Don't be afraid to feel like you want to go on a journey with your agent, because that is very much what is supposed to happen. Being on that journey is not wasting your agent's time. Now, now what I will tell you is things that actually do disappoint agents, right? If I'm going to tell you, if they're not disappointed when you don't place an offer, what is disappointing? What's disappointing to me, right? What's the most disappointing thing to me is when I feel like I am putting in a level of effort that the client is not. When I feel like I'm dragging them along on that process. And that usually means we have to have a discussion like, where are we going wrong, right? That's probably the thing that most leads to the disappointment, right? It feels like a very one sided relationship. I think that most agents don't mind the process of not getting paid until a transaction closes. And it's true. We can work for clients for months and we don't get paid at all. That relationship is fine with me. What's not okay is feeling like that client might be wasting time, that they might be working with multiple agents, right? That's really not fair to your realtor partner. You owe it to them to really research, find out who you want to work with, and make a choice. Anyhow, hopefully that's not too preachy, everybody, but just something I saw on Facebook. Another first-time home buyer really probably facing a lot of the same challenges and issues that you are out there in the market, and just wanted to provide a little bit of insight there. Anyhow, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and also keep the questions and comments coming. And finally, if you are looking to buy your first home in Southern California, definitely reach out and give us a call. We are here to help make that happen for you.